Why should we care about gender balanced leadership? Why are the gender dynamics in organizations seemingly so hard to shift? How can organizations balance in a successful way? And finally, how can I, as a woman, own my career ambition and step into my full leadership power? Over the next 5 minutes, I will provide answers to those questions. Let's start with the questions, why should we care? There is a slew of data out there. However, oftentimes, gender balance is being discussed as a moral imperative. Leila Čaković and I argue that gender balance is about business performance, and it can be shown in one slide. It looks like this. Diversity and inclusion have significant impact on recruiting and retaining talent, innovation, company reputation, and financial performance. So, if you do not want to miss out, you need to tap into the full talent pool. Why are gender dynamics so hard to shift? Again, plenty of explanations are being out there, and oftentimes it is argued that it's the woman herself who does not want to take on a leadership role. We use a more systemic lens to explain women's disadvantage in advancing to the top. We argue that it's a mix of intrapersonal, interpersonal, and organizational barriers that hold women back to step into their full leadership power. Now to the question, how can organizations balance in a successful way? Oftentimes, organizations who want to balance are over-focusing on empowering women by building women's confidence through, for example, skill building, diversity trainings, or trying to make them a little more like men. Research shows that this is not the route to success because it does not address the systemic preference that has a self-replication of in-group and out-group dynamics. That's why we argue that successful implementation of women empowerment and gender-balanced leadership needs a three-pronged approach that uses structural interventions, behavioral design, and gender metrics. Let me now tackle the last question. How can I, as a woman, own my career ambition and step into my full leadership power? We argue that women leadership is not just about taking on a role. It is an identity shift which requires to embrace the concept of power and influence. It is about using power and influence in a strategic way and successfully navigate what we call the leadership labyrinth. So, to achieve gender-balanced leadership, we need to educate our women and men leaders and managers to be gender bilingual and to ensure they connect with 100% of the potential customer base of the talents. This takes skill, and it is certainly not about blaming. This requires empowering people to change and stopping things we have been doing too long. Stop fixing women, but start asking yourself the question, what's the matter in our organization? Stop calling women diverse. Women are 60% of the talent pool and 80% of the customer pool. They aren't diverse, they are the future. Reframe the debate. Gender balance isn't a nice to have and ethically good for business. Instead, it is the recognition of the business opportunity that comes with gender balance. Target the organization as a whole. Organizations will never change by empowering women through skill and confidence programs. But they will when we start educating and designing our organizations to empower women and men leaders to build gender-balanced organizations. If you care about gender balance in your organization, if you care about women who are not making it to the top, or if you are a woman who is kind of stuck in their career, join Leila Čaković and me, Michaela Bristol-Faulhammer, in our online course, Women in Power. We see you there.